So, we can talk about whatever you like if you have pressing questions, but I had the idea that we should do a cross country together. An unusual one that you might actually have in a check ride situation, final phase check type thing. So probably not a flight that you would actually take, but we will kind of do it together. So the premise of it is we are departing from Big Bear and then going to Santa Barbara. We are going to take, let's see, find what plane we're gonna do.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, that's nice. I want to talk to Michael. He wants to. There's a man over there. He's just asking us if we want to be in like some video. I was talking right now. I know. Go talk to him. Some no, I forget his name. He was like, huh?
See a big guy?
He's an older guy.
Oh.
All the people, big media people here at Oshkosh.
Yeah. Most of them are.
Hmm?
Most of them are in Oshkosh.
Yeah,
All right. So today we are going to make a nav for a trip from Big Bear. What is it? L35. Yeah, L35. Yeah, could you grab like
10?
8 or 10 of them? Yeah. We're gonna go from Big Bear to Santa Barbara. We are going to take 248 Foxtrot Sierra. Gonna take 248 Foxtrot Sierra and read out some paper.
Me too.
I actually just bought the picture coming tomorrow off the Amazon. No, like the tabs, the student solo tabs. Yeah, or not student solo.
There's PPL tabs and names.
Mm-hmm. They should come in tomorrow, so let's see. Because my rate. See your car. They look.
I guess it's a good notice.
Yes. Mine should be good.
That's been passing that blog as well. Nah. We don't wait for the it's pretty that. I guess they left. What about the nav?
I mean, like.
I'm presuming so. I just test this. I know you got grabbed that about once, so. Ryan, baby. So you did it last three? Yeah. I don't have everything laid problems, but on my phone. I'll do the reading. It's not, yeah. Putting out weight and balance. It's pretty blind. You know, the way it's not like someone's gonna get a second plus the time and you're.
No, you could respond, you have to just announce that you have less.
Right. So. When you find yourself. Just a big.
Yep. Here.
You're gonna be fine with me. I weigh 170 pounds and I'm taking 5 pounds, 10 pounds of luggage. And basically, I want you all to work on this together. You can get into small groups, ask each other questions, see what's not. I weigh 170 pounds and I'm taking 10 pounds of luggage. 10 pounds. 10 pounds of luggage. Yeah, you can go overnight. I have a toothbrush. Come on, your head's like. Yeah, you know, so.
Teacher's pen.
Thank you.
This weighs about 7 pounds. Not that much. Yeah.
It's like 3 pounds.
No,
Let's see, what you think, Mason?
Baby.
I think it weighs about 6 or 7 pounds.
By far even there, that's.
It's about a.
Yeah, it's right. Yeah, like 6 or 7 pounds.
Yeah. Think that much.
Yeah. I had Michael fight Iron Man. The Hulk.
So, this is going to include everything. So I want, I weigh 170 pounds. I'm taking 10 pounds of luggage. I want, takeoff distances, rate of climb, top of climb, the best routes to get out of there. So we're gonna have to find our density altitude, all the stuff we talked about this week. If you have questions, try to ask the people around you and figure it out. If you still have questions, ask me.
Front baggage, we don't have to put any. And what is our front baggage?
So. So if that's like our seat. We have. This little space behind it that the seat can go back. That is not the front baggage. But then we have this. This is rear. And this is front. Just like a small, tiny little. Like 5-inch thing right there. I just call it all back baggage. Rear baggage.
6.3 under, you know.
Wait, no. So.
For the weight and balance, so we're taking a pass on.
Yep, I weigh 170 pounds and I'm taking 10 pounds of baggage. What you weigh? I weigh 10 pounds and I'm bringing 170 pounds of baggage. Um, I would suggest before you start working on a route. To figure out what your rate of climb is going to be. And let's say we're gonna leave at like 11 o'clock this morning. So that'll affect the temperature, therefore. That's, yeah.
How long is our flight?
Well, I'm just doing this.
I don't know, you tell me, man.
So that's the.
I feel like I can't bring enough food.
Yeah. 13:20.
You might not be able to bring enough fuel.
We're gonna stop somewhere.
Yes.
Maybe I picked a plane that was kind of on the heavy side for that exact reason.
Equals.
So I might have to stop somewhere. Where should we stop?
7.
Okay, I'll be back in a few minutes.
Me making it. Me making it, untrue. It's the truth. It's 9 gallons. You're bringing 9 gallons, that is. How much? Yeah, how much are you actually 10, I just put 5. Okay, I'm bringing like 7. Yeah, I'm bringing like 11, yeah. Bringing like 11.
I got 13.
Get 15, maybe. You know, it's the exit. Oh.
I was like adding these curves and then seeing how much.
That's what I did,
Yeah.
only 3.
There's no way.
Just-
Yeah.
No, you just said.
Getting a 8 gigs like a day is just been an 80 day range.
But you.
But it's like you're 8 bars. I see the number again. It's 233,000. This is how many buildings.
Okay, so you would put it down on that you said.
Wait.
So it's just 6.
That's what I done,
Right?
I did something. That makes sense.
I'm only carry 30 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Hold on.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. And
I'm doing some.
15. You're bringing 15,000.
No,
5 pounds.
50,000.
That's at least plus 3 points. Not really.
So
Yeah.
like I microphone.
So bring like my headphones.
So you know.
Just a bring. For the 15, it's just a bit.
Yeah. Yeah, that would just keep it in. Bring them in. No, it's not necessarily 0.
Well, this was each other 6 times, wasn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, so it's yeah, that's. Analysis works. Does it make sense? Does it feel on the plane? What can it that? Okay, now put the name of this down. So you add these, add this. Yep. And then once you get this, you're gonna divide that.
This sucks.
So I got this. Or divided by this, and that equals this. So just put this seven in. Just round up.
The CGI.
Oh,
Let us know.
so I just rounded up.
I can only carry one really fast day.
Right, it's between the range.
6 gallons. Yeah, the reason I put not decimals is because I'm not carrying.
Oh, you're right.
Not carrying 15.
But still not enough to take off.
Yes. Well, not in, I mean, like, you take gallons and things that are good. First minimum.
Did you?
If we not to take it, I
So
say.
you're waiting.
What do you have? 130 days. I can't even, 11.
320.
You can do it up.
Yeah, I can't even let. Yeah.
Either run up and tax.
Yeah, but it's nice. I go.
Alright.
I'm gonna balance. So I would,
Only a bus down.
yeah.
Yeah, even if only asked for the trim.
Everything weighs
Well,
1290.
you're just like already done with 1290. You're already done with this, so you could add it.
30 gallons.
That's still, like, doing that. You're still gallons.
Or 30 pounds.
I can see it's all 5, yeah. And all that was cold, I guess, to take off. So you could bring it in again. 15 gallons.
15.
8 on each side.
I told not even without fuel.
Without, was it different than it's for cross country? Or wait,
No, you can't take
so we have to
off,
land.
but you have to stop somewhere
Or on each side.
for fuel.
Or on each. Five, that's what we're going for landing. Yeah, what we're supposed to have, we're starting, we're just like, we're gonna take off.
So what's the?
So we can't even go anywhere, we're like, we're gonna take a lot of steps. Definitely.
Do we? That many stops to Big Bear? That doesn't make any sense.
I didn't know.
Okay, I have 16.
18th rhythm. On the 6th row. Thursday, right? I'm not gonna stick to player or.
I mean, 16,
I call like 6.
yeah, the number.
I have that in.
Yeah.
Bro, like how do you? It's like very young.
That's a way to do it.
I just had a great knowledge. And so then you were told, but we're like. Exactly. So what you did.
I've been sick. Cause you know how when you lose, you lose double
Yeah.
the dot.
What's still, so you didn't have a double, no, that was. Yeah, but like.
Yeah, and it's only 10. It's like impossible.
Really.
It's, that means, that means if I, that means I can't even go. I can't even go.
How much that is?
20,000.
I guess like.
This job's gonna be perfect for you.
Oh, so 10.
That's kind of my inspiration. You never use one.
This is
Adrian.
will be planned to be part and you to last for at least 2 hours of reserve standing, 5 gallons per side. I don't see 5 gallons per side. With at least. But I'm 5 on each side. At least. Never fly less than 4 gallons indicated on each side, but.
Well, not right now.
Like literally.
I don't know, it's just for pay for your percentage.
Would you go Hollywood or?
Well, this is.
I think-
Wax.
Like. No, we can take off. No. 50. 10 or 60.
How are you? How do you take the $60 with the growth mindset? I think that's just.
All fighting.
Yeah.
You can
Guys,
take off.
leave.
Okay, tell me about it. I can't leave.
5 hours.
Yeah. I'm sad, dude.
You're supposed to land with 5 pounds on each side, right? Gallons. Gallons, yeah. I have half.
Oh, okay.
I think it's just not today, man.
Like,
Yeah, we need to.
I don't think anyone.
You can't leave either.
No one can leave.
No one can leave? Alright, let's do some magic. Alright. Now the plane instead of was 880 pounds, something like that. 887. Let's adjust our weight and balance. We're gonna make a hypothetical plane, it's a different plane. We'll keep all the numbers the same, except we're going to change the weight to 830 pounds even. Which means that we have to calculate any moments for it as well. So multiply 830 by that arm and get a new moment. And let's see how that works.
Say 8:30.
830. And I weigh 170 pounds.
Still can't take off.
Are you kidding?
I would break 14.5 gallons.
Okay. Bring 14.5 gallons. I think you can take off that.
No, you have to bring 8 on each side, right? 16 gallons.
Just like minimums.
It's like minimum.
Wrote in forget.
Alright, we're gonna go with, you have to, let's go with, this is not a sling minimums thing, this is a. Federal minimums. We're gonna go with federal minimums this time. We should still use good ADM and maybe not have like. 2 gallons left over. For our day VFR flight.
When we're doing our cross countries, the first thing we should do is weight and balance.
Well, that'll affect how long you can be in the air, which will affect where you gotta go. for fuel stops.
Yeah.
So I'd start with weight and balance, then I would move on to performance calculations.
Divide by 6.
So this is actually pretty representative of the kind of stuff you'll be asked to do in a check ride. Where they'll be like, hey, we're going from this point to this point, and you have to do all the work and be like, okay, so we can't go because of this reason, this reason, this reason, this reason, and this reason. And they'll go, oh, okay, great. So you still have to like plan out the whole thing, but yeah, like, yeah, we can't go because the ceilings are too low. Also, there's a convective sigma in the way. Also, we don't have the climb performance that we need. So you're planning it, but you're also just kind of doing analysis of it.
And you're doing this in front of the.
No, they'll give you this beforehand. By the way, you should text, did you talk to Tiffany already? Okay, you should text her maybe now and ask her where you want to, what your cross-country details are. That goes for everyone. If you're doing a, basically anything after your cross-country phase check, cross-country and on, your phase check is going to include an nav log. Same with your check rides. It's going to include some kind of cross-country. So if they don't reach out to you, you got to reach out to them and ask for those details. How you doing, Laura?
Not well. Not well.
Is there any way I could help? I'm trying to work out my delts so that my shoulder's not so pointy.
Oh shit, yeah, never mind, not your shoulder.
Give me a few more months. Yes.
Smells so busy.
Alright. So we have that, right?
What do we do after the waiting balance? The what's this next thing? I didn't know.
Okay,
Right,
so
big
tell
fair.
me no, we can leave.
And then what?
So-
The R to the feet.
Where are we? We're big here.
Oh, so you just.
Take a look at
Or stuff.
Big Bear. Big Bear. So, tell me how we're gonna get out of there, and how we're gonna get out of there is gonna be dependent on how fast we can climb. How fast we can climb is gonna be dependent on our pressure, altitude, density, altitude, all that stuff, so that's the area.
Your seating gonna change?
Cool. You're gonna do this stuff too?
What? Oh, yeah, what's where we're going right now?
Yeah. John, you haven't left yet. No?
Spend it on.
Still got some energy, you're gonna go side it out, you're gonna do it left to left.
It's fine.
No, we can-
I think it's on the other side of the map, which is.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, like, oh, you don't have to.
We're just gonna go.
Oh, it's on there. Okay, it's Santa Barbara.
I'm so really. I love it. It's like they should be used to it.
We're taking off from them. Oh, or going to.
Taking off from Big Bird, going to recycle.
Oh.
Yeah. We're going from Big Bear to Santa Barbara. I weigh 170 pounds. I'm taking 10 pounds of luggage.
You weigh 190 pounds?
You weigh 300 pounds.
What's 248?
248 Foxtrot? Isn't that the plane we're taking?
No, this is wrong. Because you're gonna do 830. Forget it. You're gonna plus the weight. Plus the, you change the back stuff. Okay, so what's the total? Another 1.5. It's 125. Okay. So it's 20. Okay. But that means that you need to divide this by the. You're dividing by the. What do you, so you're dividing wrong, first of all.
I just did it the other way and it was more.
Okay, this is that 84. 84. 8. 2. 4. Why would it be 5,000?
Right, but when you add, so you, in order for you to get to this, this is what you have left, but you're right. The 125, what are you adding here? Technically, you're okay here. I got it, I was right.
Once we put Big Bear and Santa Barbara in Fort Lauderdale, it's the next step, like, and you wait.
Said anything about Fort Flight? You can find a loose approximation of it through Fort Flight, but you got a paper section on it.
More.
This is what you'll have to do for your pepper. Gotta show it.
You do it now, like, you do that?
No. Thank God. Maybe for your CFI, yeah.
Right.
And I tell you what, it seems like a pain in the ass now, but I've had two DPEs that have been giving face check instructions have been really upset at how much the CFI candidates suck at using plotters and mechanical E6Bs. Is they're like, this is atrocious. You should not be taking a half an hour to like get this like 2 legs out. Like you're supposed to be able to teach this and you're struggling to do it. So I want to make sure that you guys can do it this way. If you don't happen to have a plotter and an E6B with you right now, get an approximation through Portplay. Like I didn't tell you to bring it today. But I want you to be able to do all this stuff manually.
59.
In the same way, you could just plug an address into your GPS and then have no idea where you are. You just know that you got to that place. I'm gonna go to this restaurant. Where are you? I don't know.
Also like on the most inconvenient spot too. Like, really.
Let's see.
I don't even know the first thing we went. I've never done one of those.
Never done one?
Yeah.
Okay. We were here in class when we did it.
Yeah.
So you've done your weight and balance, right?
Yeah.
Okay, So now we want to take off from Big Bear, at least. And one of the things that's going to determine where we go and how long it's going to take to get there is what our performance is going to be. So we need to do those performance calculations. What performance calculations will we have to do?
The pressure altitude, intensity altitude.
Uh-huh. And we can use that Coke chart, and we can also use our POH to find out what our rate of climb should be at Big Bear at 11 a.m. this morning.
There.
A lot of times you'll be doing performance calculations for like a day or two later. Just go find what's forecast and take the hottest temperature to be conservative.
Perfect. That's. Yes, because you're feeling.
And so for density altitude, what's the temperature supposed to be in Big Bear at 11 o'clock?
21.
21 degrees Celsius? Okay. What's the current altimeter setting at Big Bear? 30.25. Okay, so that should be close enough for our purposes. We could take the current altimeter setting. It'll probably be pretty similar to that within a few feet anyway. You can take the current altimeter setting. If you can find a forecast of it, that's even better.
Where do you find a forecast?
You know, really. It's not in the TAF. I think maybe MLS in foreplay gives a forecast of an altimeter setting. But without it, just use the current one.
It's about. It's just seeing Palm Springs, terms of it's like talk about.
Okay.
Okay, oh, okay, right, okay. And then,
And a bar for example, other stuff.
So for the temperature, you're just going to the fore flight and the weather, looking on the airport and weather. So
Yeah, we're just doing our best
are.
estimate, so. TAF, that's not going to have our temperature, but the MOS forecast. Should give us a good idea of what it should be, which is 23 degrees Celsius.
What is the MOS thing? What is it?
I don't know what that stands for. It's not official. Model output statistics. Sounds like a made up company name. Over on Madison, there's a company I walked by. It's called Measurement Analysis Corporation. I was like, that's a front. Come on, that's made up.
What are you doing in that?
They're Measurement Analysis Corporation.
It's different. Because. So it's 2 degrees.
No, it's
So it's a 11, 13, 2, it's sort of goes around in the south.
So it's the same one.
So, yeah.
just so we're all on the same page, what should the standard temperature be at Big Bear? At was 6,700 feet? If you round
1 degree.
1 degree? Yeah, if you round up 1 degree, you round down 2 degrees.
You'll round up to 7 down.
Yes. These things, they'll look a little bit different from each other. Some people might choose to round up, some would choose to round down. It is closer to 7,000 slightly. If you round up, that would be more conservative, so that's usually the best way to go. Talking about the standard temperature.
So it's exactly what I want. Yeah, 21 degrees for this one. I didn't.
That's not above it, but newspaper, right?
On
And then it's on this side.
On the other side?
It's higher up. To the west. To the front.
Santa Barbara.
Hmm.
Pictures, not really, no one's on the first.
So they're clean, so it's.
Frame it.
It's 5, 16. So.
Did anyone find the density altitude yet?
Yeah,
Yeah? What'd you get?
882C.
Sounds about right.
What do you do with that again?
Well,
It's
how do we find our rate of climb? There's two different ways that we went over yesterday.
those chart and the UH.
Okay. So you can use the POH to find out what that is. So I suggest doing both.
Yeah,
So what does the POH say our rate of climb should be? I think it's
450.
okay. Now you can go to the Coke chart,
The coach chart says
240. I'd go with the more conservative one of 240.
240. Okay.
I'm not the first person to say it, but the Sling POH is kind of more like a sales brochure. The performance is a little
Off. Yeah.
exaggerated, maybe.
What'd you get for that sales too?
8.
$35.
Yeah, 7%. 7%. Yeah. It's- I should get forfeit to me. Oh, it was one. That was a cheap. So maybe 4 movies.
No, okay, so with the Cope chart, you use sea level, standard temperature, rate of climb. Cause otherwise you're basically doing the calculation twice.
Oh, sea level, so that's 0.
So with the Cope chart, you'd use 800 feet per minute.
I wonder, or, I mean, around, around,
Yeah. I want that.
Just let your nose get acclimated to it.
No.
God, you're the pickiest, fussiest.
You guys don't like them. You guys don't make me.
I wanna do the world a favor and make myself more comfortable.
You guys don't.
we can't.
I don't know.
It's pretty comfortable.
Here we go.
200 feet per minute.
Yeah. He's miles away for you.
Do you think that making cold ass is, it smells,
But hey, it's.
throw that thing on them, press the button.
I know.
So after rate of climb,
Uh-huh.
on our top of climb, I guess we know what we're climbing over. So
We gotta know what we're climbing to. We also have to know what obstacles are in our way and how far away they are. So how are we going to get enough altitude to go over these obstacles?
that's true.
Box climb, that might be a good option. Maybe over the lake.
Yeah.
How many rotations? How many climbs over the lake? How long is the lake? You know? If we figure out a rate of climb, we can figure out how long it's going to take us, how many minutes it's going to take us to get to the altitude we need. And then we gotta draw out something to figure out. Like in what distance we can do that.
Is this illegal? I haven't even like.
What do you mean is it legal?
I've been doing.
You should give up. You should give up, Michael.
Michael, you get like 60 years. 260. It's like.
I disagree with that. Just because it's not a visual waypoint that starts with VP that you can put in the GPS, doesn't mean there isn't something you can look at.
Follow the coastline.
No. Because you need to be able to do it using dead reckoning as well. Dead reckoning, piloting, you need to have waypoints that are at the most 20 nautical miles away. better, more like 15. So look at what's on the coast, maybe pull up Google Earth or something, see what can I identify, mark that down, and then you have that as a visual waypoint. If you're putting it in your GPS, sure, those waypoints might be 50 miles away from each other because they're just kind of giving you a rough outline of where you're going. But as far as selecting a visual waypoint, it doesn't have to be a GPS waypoint.
No, I know, but supposedly.
But saying, I'm just gonna follow, like if we were going to Vegas, I can't just say, I'm gonna follow the 91 to the 15 and take that all the way to Vegas. I gotta have visual waypoints along the way.
What else do we know? Then say that's fine. And so say that's about 10 minutes. So I got for. But I got 15 minutes in it. Saving up the use of this building. I think it's been up and I thought it was not a good view. Because of this month, and I'm going to look into that. Obviously, then the next best is it's been awesome.
Here.
So, Michael, in order to figure out that top of climb, what information we need? We need to know what our rate of climb is.
Yeah.
That'll tell us how many minutes it will take us. And then we need to know what our true air speed and what our winds are, find out what our ground speed's going to be. And then we can find out what, at what distance we will make that top.
Right.
If you're circling or doing a box climb. Assuming the wind doesn't change much with altitude, you're going from a headwind to a tailwind to a crosswind to another crosswind. So it all kind of evens out. So I don't bother quite as much with figuring out what your ground speed is going to be for each of the four legs. You know what I mean? Because I kind of cancel them. So I would just take the true airspeed.
Okay.
And figure out, yeah, how many rotations. And then if it's on the border, I'd say, okay, we'll go a little bit further. Be conservative, say it'll take a little bit longer than that.
East, we would need to be in odds plus one, we just have to. Don't go west.
What are you going east?
Oh, wait.
You can make it in one trip.
Nope.
How much fuel will you have when you get there?
It's like 6 gallons.
6 gallons?
Yeah.
Well, I said to use the FA minimums. But I also said use good ADM.
Yeah. Alright, let me get this stop.
Okay. So who's moved on from like top of climb, figuring out how to get out of there and have moved on to like route plan? Just Michael? Do you want some help, Laura? What's going on?
He goes, I didn't remember my picture. Literally. Okay. Do your thing.
You don't know where to start for.
I'm trying to solve this with you right now, but I got, we're showing this on the stuff. Okay, so I'm there. What do I do?
Well, if you take off, you gotta go somewhere.
Obviously.
Where are you gonna go?
I land right back at the same.
Where are you gonna go? You can get over those obstacles. How are you gonna get over?
Like,
Okay, how fast are you going? That's probably where I'd start. So we talked about yesterday how to determine your rate of climb.
okay.
Do you remember those two ways that we just brought up a bit ago?
Nope,
No? Sometimes when we talk about stuff from class, it's relevant to the thing that you're doing. Yeah, so you can use your POH. You find your density altitude, and then you can look at your POH, and it'll tell you what your rate of climb is according to that. And you can also use the rope chart, the rope chart.
I tried to put it in, and it's not even giving bigger report.
That's not like that. What did you type in?
Well, I tried O35 and then I
Stage up
tried.
there. It's all like us.
Yeah, let's talk about it. What's that, you know? I'm not for.
They won't even find it.
I guess I could have got through.
There.
It's
Yeah,
always
it's
there.
It always says there,
Oh.
it showed the airport elevation. Great, so now put your temperature in. It has a negative 13 in there for some reason.
Like if I figured out, then it's gonna take you like 18 minutes to box.
Yeah.
What's
So put in the temperature that's gonna be a
box that.
So when I see
We might get it, but maybe.
we're taking off things,
It's telling me.
we get a bunch of time. And you want that you
You go to MLS.
so I tell they care.
You know,
You're able to see
sense of light, right? The forecast.
You're gonna. I'm like.
Okay, right up by 23 degrees.
But then you wanna check like your surrounding area and like some so we're starting at 6,700, like what did you try?
I kind of 10
Yeah, you'll see it when make that, because right here it's 6153. That's even like more than you are used. Your mind seems better.
So no, so you decrease and then standard rate of climb by 70 percent.
For the question lines and go.
So what's our standard rate of climb?
So then, so you don't necessarily have to go like. That's a good point, because I didn't see that. So what you can do is just like alter yourself for severe. And you can go like breaking down.
Standard rate of climb.
Here, that's
It's not on the elevation down there.
But look, I mean.
It's 8,000. It's not skills.
You know, it's just. Steven. Going based on.
You want to get 6,000,
Understand.
Going over the side end of
so I think that it would do. 8.
Just as it's so.
So 7% decrease.
So this already gave each other. So that mountain is not.
No, we're not even.
It's not, no, that mountain is for.
That's more about. What
So
direction.
that mountain was actually.
That. We're not even. Trying to figure out how to take off.
So you just use the. And that's what is the spare.
So it's something we need to do first. Okay, so we have a 71% decrease in rate of climbs, and our normal rate of climb is 800 feet.
Honestly, so it's like you go to the building class, really not even the. Crystal.
Okay,
560.
so
Oh,
we're
yeah, that's right.
decreasing our rate of climb.
You make a pit stop.
It's 232.
That's what I'm saying.
This is our rate.
Yes.
232 feet per minute.
Yeah, one dollar. Maybe it's kind of.
I'll be here now for that. Then you can figure out how long it's going to take for you to build the climbs, whatever altitude you figured out that you can soon. Build those out here, what fuel can they have? Come to call them over. And then when you know how long it's gonna take you, then you have to figure out, can I do that?
Calling up right now. The guys.
That's big bones.
I mean,
So come out fishing.
it may not.
You guys, as long as it's still choosing, you don't need to say this way. Yeah, and where it's all obstacles. So this is the model.
For sure you think that's.
Really? When I read no state, they're go and some swing. Sorry, plus 5. What do you think? Alright, what about?
It depends.
Yes, if you go, yes, you can have to say your odds.
Still on it. So, least correct.
So like, if you're like
So I call it.
elevation is 6,700, not even, you get that.
Just because we want to go one way to, doesn't mean you go there immediately.
Oh.
So.
We're gonna have to. You can use your foot. No, that way, that way. I'll figure it out. I'm still working on a slow diet. And just so we can do really close things. You sign up to a lot faster. Figure out which way you're going first. That's how I'm going. And you'll have to stay overnight. This goes on how long it's going to take. I see this route well. It's great. Everybody does. Just see my route. Here's another handy feature. It's going to take place early. Each weekend pick, okay, so like, let's say. Somewhere else that we
No, what the part?
like a more be a lot.
Oh, you make it off. That wouldn't even work.
Spell it.
Never booked it's off. So you could notice this.
I did check. I don't know. I checked before I did it.
Where you make your fist off, huh?
I'll read it.
Yeah, you did.
So right after figures following Friday, that's a viewing of yeah, a figure or something.
What about food?
So you can just say,
Why did sometimes they jack in the ball?
When it's 8-5, geez, that.
Check to the box, but it's possible Blanca, bro.
It goes follows
around. You just gotta get in there 0.4.
I just said, so. We go to Humper and kids egg them. All right, if you scroll or do now or on there, pick the option, so you can click one. So we're not gonna be at 28.5. If you guys don't know about this feature, go into ForeFlight and on, let's see. On the left side where it says BFR and traffic, you have a whole menu of things you can select. On the right column, if you go down, I don't know, about halfway or so, you'll see something called Hazard Advisor right next to traffic and winds. Select Hazard Advisor. And then there'll be a little scroll on the side of your map now. So you can choose an altitude and it'll show you what the obstacles are at that altitude, what you're gonna collide. So close that out and slide that up and down. Which part? So it'll show you
I had to keep this thing, perfect.
in relief, like what's in the way. So that can help you pick a route, like where's the candy, like where's the pass. Yeah. It's an altitude, 1, 2, 5.
Just click that.
I subtracted that. Another thing you can do, if you want to know the altitude of a specific spot, is just press and hold it. And then it should tell you what altitude it is, 1,360.
Then I divided that by the feet.
We're ready for the flight to be a trillionaire.
Yeah, it's. People, I've talked to a lot of people come in and they're like. Yeah, I have a paper math log, ForeFlight really works, like, it's the only. It's the only app that you need on your phone.
Really?
If I looked at what I did on my phone, like half of it is ForeFlight. Said they just rolled out like an IFR kind of. Yeah, I was hearing something about, this was telling me something about that. I don't know much about it. Yeah.
It's pretty good, right? You know, them last like.
I saw something online about it too, but I was too tired to actually find out.
Hopefully itself.
Yeah, my husband. So yeah, now you have how many minutes it's gonna take? You can use. Okay. So.
And I go to
Time this. Now that we know, so how many?
Never.
You guys probably,
What else?
you guys probably, which is probably, I'm saying.
No, largely.
Okay, so. Yeah. So if we're going, if we're going to the west, what else do we have available?
Can we now?
Oh.
What?
There you go.
Shit, we're not, and I was going to.
Village.
There you go.
To be honest.
I can do.
This is. But I was like, my first time was, I was like, I didn't know. I love the.
It's just, that's not nice, obviously. It's that quadrant, so are you going to here? Yeah.
So what am I gonna say now?
He still flies.
That sounds like it. So it's kind of like, what do you provide? Oh, how many minutes?
Second, but you're more. Where's the cage to get into PPL?
Starting.
Well, let's say right now. Starting, it's like Cajun chicken, like Cajun brownie, all heights. I'm sorry to the clown.
10,000 how much you can have?
Oh, boy, birthday. Stopping for everything.
Yes, I believe.
Okay, so we have
Five, bro.
maybe
How much do you get?
So it takes us 15 minutes, and that means like to do save them. And that's like, if there's.
Now you gotta use the true rate.
It's let's get.
Or you should wake up with,
and
with you.
find out how much it's not good. You have to know how this works.
It's
Oh my God, you guys are so dramatic.
Oh. Very good.
Which extra time on tests?
I need to know some do. I said, hey, did we do?
Days.
I'll say, we're so scared. I say, oh, some easy crushing this.
Yeah, relax.
Doors. Just so for all of them. Yeah, that'll help. So I was thinking inside. Maybe more. Wait.
So that's part of what this is.
We're.
He's giving it.
This so we're.
So
6,007.
Okay, let's.
Wait, don't go far.
No, we're not going anywhere. We're just bringing this out to the group. All right, so I actually think this is a good idea. It's the same thing that we did with how to use the E6B.
Yes.
We'll just start step-by-step instructions.
Yeah.
So, as a class, I want us all to figure out, what do you think is the best order to do things when you're doing planning out across country and a navlog, especially out of a place like this. So what's the first thing that I want to do?
Where are you taking off from? Where are you taking off from, right?
Where I'd probably say weight and balance. Like, I mean, we might as well.
Okay.
Weight and balance is probably a good place to start. That'll let us know, among other things, so we're doing it. Yeah. That'll tell us how long we can fly. Okay. Then, especially if we're in a tricky airport like this, before we start, let's say we started with the route first. We didn't do weight and balance. We didn't do performance calculations. We figure out a great route, and then turns out we can't climb very well and we're gonna hit an obstacle on the way. We have to do it all over again. Or we forgot that we're gonna need a fuel stop. We didn't realize we're gonna need a fuel stop halfway. So weight and balance, that's a great place to start. Then performance calculations, I'd say. Performance calculations at that airport.
That just means pressure, altitude, density. Is there anything else?
Well, we are figuring out our pressure altitude and density altitude, but we're bigger picture. We want to find out our rate of climb, takeoff roll, we want to find out top of climb, so like top of climb in minutes and distance. So what do we need to figure out in order to do these calculations? What information do we need? We need pressure altitude and density altitude. So we need, getting a little more granular, we need an altimeter setting for pressure altitude. We need temperature for density altitude. We need our POH for true airspeed. So we have that graph for true airspeed. That's going to give us our ground speed. And probably for true airspeed and also for rate of climb. And we also need, or I'd suggest using anyway, a Koch chart for rate of climb and takeoff distance.
Since we're doing a box climb on this specifically, you know, take on distance, it's kind of not big.
Still need to know how long we're going to be on the runway to see if we're going to be able to take off in time. Are there any
I was
obstacles?
thinking that meant like after you take off, how far
No,
around.
I mean, I've started, I'm still on the runway, I'm still on the runway. It takes me 1,100 feet to take off. It takes me 200 feet. That's our takeoff distance. So that's the information that we need. Are we missing anything?
Oh, I guess what I meant to ask, under the purple thing for top of climb in minutes of distance,
Mhm.
do we still need to calculate distance for top of climb?
Do we still need to calculate distance for top climb? Okay, let's break that out to the class. Why would we need top of climb in distance as well as in time?
So we wanna see how far it's gonna take us to reach our next point. So like, and then it's, for like my example, we going from Big Bear
Uh-huh.
to Lake Arrowhead.
Uh-huh.
But there's a discrepancy where Big Bear is at 6,000, but the lake is at 8,500. So you want to know whether or not you'll clear the obstacle that's in the way,
Obstacle clearance.
and you want to know like how long it's gonna, like how far. So it's
Yeah,
like-
so part of it is going to be fuel burn. But most importantly, when we're taking off, we want to know, are there any obstacles that we need to clear? And are we going to be able to get to that altitude by the time we need to clear it? And if not, we need to change our routes to figure out how to get up there. So it's gonna take us, what did we find out, or like 14 minutes or 15 minutes? That sounds about right. To get to 10:05. Not 18, so 18, so 15, 16, 15, let's call it 15 minutes. Then just rough math. Probably about 20 minutes, 19, 20 minutes, or 19, 20 miles, I mean, nautical miles to do that. Okay, so now we need to figure out where we can do that climb before we go to the obstacle. Or maybe the obstacle's only at like 8,500. We really only need to get up to 9,000 or 9,500 to clear that obstacle. So that's why we do performance calculations. We use that information to plan our route. What makes a good route of flight? Like what are we considering? What do we need for this?
Good waypoints.
What does that mean? Good waypoints.
Ground. What's of interest? Speed.
Things you can see. Good, clear visual waypoints. How can you make sure that you can see these visual waypoints?
So like toggle satellite view and make sure that that there's actually water there.
Yeah. Or maybe it's just a white patch in the desert. Okay. So we want waypoints we can see. What else? What's another consideration for choosing these waypoints?
Airports.
Airports? Okay. Why airports?
Easy to see and in an emergency.
Fuel.
Okay, we got fuel, emergency, visible. I would encourage you to take a look at what the satellite view is, because some of these like desert airports are just a brown strip that's surrounded by brown. So they are kind of tough to see sometimes. What else? What's consideration for visual waypoints?
Freeways.
Yeah, airports are a good visual waypoint.
Oh,
Freeways and intersecting roads.
Okay, that also makes a good visual waypoint, but what about when we pick these visual waypoints? Distance. What's a good distance? 10 to 20, 15. Yeah. Ideally, you should be able to pass this waypoint and see the next one. It's not always possible, but ideally, we want something that we'll be able to see from our last waypoint. Okay. No more than 20 nautical miles. I'd say ideally, around 15, 13, 15, 17, whatever. What's another really important consideration for route of flight, considering we just did our weight and balance earlier?
Fuel.
Fuel stops. And guess what? If we're making a fuel stop, we get to do all of this over again for that new airport that we're taking off from.
dude.
Okay, and now that we've planned our route of flight, then we can do the thing that we're a little more familiar with, which is creating the nav log. We put in those waypoints, we find out what the winds aloft are, find out what our wind correction is, find out what our ground speed is. Do and basically just fill this guy out. And that's about it. We're gonna do our top of cents, that stuff. But yeah, that's step 4. Fill out navlog.
Top of descent is just calculated by, oh, we're gonna descend 500 feet per minute. We're 10,000 feet in the air, it's gonna take 20 minutes.
Or you could just like use your waypoint, like, hey, this waypoint is 10 miles away. Or 15 miles away. It's gonna take me 10 minutes. I need to send this much. So if I divide the amount I need to send by 10, that'll give me the feet per minute that I can choose. So for the nav log, let's do a different color. Let's do. For step 4, filling out the nav log, we plotted out our course already, right? We drew it on the map.
Yeah.
We measured it. We know how long each section is. So we're just filling out this thing as we get the information. So waypoint, that's a good place to start. What's the distance for all these? And what's the true course? So step 1. Find our waypoints. Distance between and true course. Then what do you think the next step should be? You can move on to a couple different things. Yeah. Corrections to get our compass heading. So step 2, maybe winds aloft. Wind correction, magnetic variation. Altitude, pretty self-explanatory. We chose an altitude that fills itself out. We got our winds aloft, direction, velocity, temperature, that's all filled out. We filled out our true airspeed. Where do you get that true airspeed from?
POH.
The POH for that altitude. Okay, we fill out true airspeed. We got our true course already. Our wind correction angle and our magnetic variation come from that winds aloft chart. Got our compass heading. We're basically done. It's just like the last 2 columns. We already filled out our distance. And the third thing the winds aloft gives us is our ground speed. How does the winds aloft give us our ground speed? How do we use our winds aloft to get it?
6 feet.
E6P. So tell the class how you would get winds aloft, or how you get your ground speed using the winds aloft and your E6P.
You can account for the
And then we rotate around to your course and then move up to where your wind, your speed is, then I'll give you your ground speed. Yeah, let's show it up on here again real quick, just as a refresher. Okay, so our winds aloft is saying that we have winds from 286. So I put in 286, bring it down to that 100 spot. We all remember this from last time. First thing you do in the E6B, according to the list we made a couple weeks ago, put it on the 100 and put in your winds. So we got 286 and whoops, I didn't put it all the way down. There we go. That's as much as I can do it. Then now that we have our wind direction up here, we're gonna put in our wind velocity. Let's say that our wind velocity is 18 knots. So this would be 10, this would be 15, 16, 17, 18. Mark it there. Then what do I do, Justin? It's course. You're getting our true course. And where did we get that true course from? Plotter. From our plotter and the map. Okay, so let's say our true course is 151. So we turn that to 151. Okay. Then what do we do? True airspeed. Move that dot to our true airspeed of, let's say it's 100 at cruise. And now what do we know with this information? We have our ground speed. So our ground speed looks like it's about 112 for this leg. And then what else do we have? Our wind correction. And that looks like that's about 5, 6, 7, let's call it 8 degrees. You gonna add that or subtract it? Add it. So we're gonna add 8 degrees to our true course. So now that we have that, all we need to do, we have our ground speed. So now we can figure out how long each leg is going to take. So let's just use this example. Our ground speed in this example is 112 knots. And let's say our leg is 16 nautical miles. 112 knots, 16 nautical miles. What do I do?
Move the 60 to 12.
Okay, so we have our time on the inside, distance on the outside. If you get confused, just repeat that to yourself. Time on the inside, distance on the outside. So there's 110, 111, 112. Okay. And then we just read it, right? So what are we looking at? Trying to find out how long the inside it's going to take us to go 16 nautical miles, our distance on the outside. So we need to find our distance on the outside. Here's 16. About 8.5. About 8.5 minutes it's going to take us. So we do that for all of those. And if it's going to take us 8.5 minutes, how much fuel are we going to burn? How can we do this using the E6B?
Put the 60 to the 5.
Okay, because in 60 minutes, we're going to burn 5 gallons. And then we're going 8.5 minutes. So time on the inside again, there's 80 85, that's 8.5. So
0.7 gallons.
a little over 0.7 gallons, or we can just find out how many gallons per minute we do and use the calculator like I like to do. So that would be 5 divided by 60 times 8.5. 0.71, I guess. And then we just add all that stuff up. And that's the end of the nav log. An actual example tomorrow, like, okay. Let's pick up on these nav logs tomorrow. And we'll actually fill it out together. So you'll have the route that you wanted to do that you kind of picked out today. We'll measure it out and we'll do all of it together, or we'll do, you know, as much as we can together. So I'll just kind of pick one person's and then we'll do the whole thing. So let's use the last bit of class to continue working on these and fill it out as much as you can. If you can't fill it out anymore, ask for help. I'm here to help. Don't despair.
Real tempted on that resignation one, right? Huh?
I don't real.
So I had a general question.
Yeah.
I was sleeping on fourth flight. I saw in the middle of the US, there's a exercise schedule area. Directly from the surface to 10,000. US.
Okay, it looks like high-speed aircraft. Doing 100 miles, surface to 10,000. So there's a speed limit under 10,000. 250 knots.
Right.
So they're just saying, hey, there's gonna be people going more than
Flying
250
fast.
in that area.
Okay. So you'd be good.
Yeah. How should we be? Hey, it's good.
It's not. We just decided today is not today.
Well, we're going through it.
Oh, just you're not a different couple.
I'm looking at it. It's okay, like.
Where are you flying to?
It's the way it
You
So I have to read this solo across. It's just.
Yeah, it's a bottom.
When's the person?
Alright,
Well, text him.
yeah, you know.
Person left.
Yeah.
Stuff. Where you doing your blast? Yeah.
Where you trying to go?
15, Fulmer. 18.
So you find out, right, do you?
Where you
think you could find out?
L7.
I saw you like, what was that?
Are you going through special air rules?
Well, yeah, I just dialed like 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes.
And then.
And that's, yeah. No.
Right, you started.
Yes.
I know right mine with even the POAs with Alexis. Rope chart tells you what a rated fund.
Last question.
Well, I don't know to Altus, what's in the or do you turn off these stairs? Oh, really?
Just try to flight really isn't thing. That's or you don't know where my ball is. And we can already watch that. That's what you struck a view or is that.
So when you're trying to find out how far, how many guys, did you spend there to see whether.
Okay.
See, okay, it's.
Where are you coming from?
Yeah, on the bottom of the.
Okay.
Just
We'll draw a line between you, so like 60 down to your rating.
Yeah.
But how about you say something like how like end that in I need bullet.
So if you need to, you can just pull this, draw the GeoGuess coordinates, and it's do that.
Like that.
That's it.
That's one we're saying. I don't know.
Basically,
I was gonna do this and
L7 French.
that sounds like.
Let's see.
You want north. It's a pub update for either.
Cool. So you don't work on this.
That's the flag. That's.
Yeah, it's like
nav log there.
Do you know what plane you're using?
I'm just thinking.
That's important, so you might be using some.
Numbers. It's gonna be probably most free town. We gotta make a nav log.
Okay. So again,
What's that, whisper? We measure it, flying using any section.
Yeah.
Side of.
I just need that ice and brand each little thing. Yeah,
Nice and worth it.
Yeah, I'm sure you will.
You just
better
better.
Really? I wonder why. I guess it's just blood. Yeah. I have flown in at ULS 4 times now, though.
all these lists.
Yes.
So it's 14 minutes.
So whisper is it really party? Because I heard before they have the emergency.
I mean, it's quiet, alright. Yeah, I don't really notice it, I mean, he said it's not.
Okay, so. This one has this right, the big bear is.
I don't really remember.
That is. What are you now?
You play lemon?
So. Let's actually. Degree. Scale.
Still be here, so, you know, get the air. Sectionals, I'm looking at fucking three. Well, what's the?
It's another. So you have to hear your own click. We're going to have like.
This one's actually in my little, anything, needs to, you scan. Pass through the cheerleader. Right here on that. Where do you make your fiscal flag, choose a measure. This is some degrees. You slip, you skip, you skip, I've never heard of you skip. Okay, it's something very.
Okay.
Because
First.
But section like everything then.
Why do you like that one?
Oh, yes, switch.
It's such a hard one to say.
Yeah, like, tell them. Just make sure you. Or you throw it up there. I'm listening, like third party. Yeah, I was measuring. You. It's not that. So. It's so.
This bed in 5767 ball. That's even smaller. I was like 6767 golf. I was like, correction.
Spot back.
Oh, really? Why?
The battery was.
Okay, so it's what it's giving you. Current, let's say. Current clear spot, so it's a different time, you have to figure out your vector altitude, some range to figure out.
So in like, right, you have to watch the first route too, right?
On Sunday.
Yeah, even if I'm taking it, actually, but like. But like I said, you can pass for altitude and
Right across from the departure. Right across from the departure, get to elevator, and find it loops.
Okay.
So-
You can check.
I don't know, because.
There is the
She doing it, go.
So this is using those current nodes.
Okay.
Yeah, you remember how to find the
And or. Yeah.
Okay, so the pressure altitude is 3026.
That's like. Like, seems to get the five grand, and go over your places,
86.
you're entering this. 6 and 14.
Oh, where'd you get to minus?
6, 5, 4, 6.
That minus current also.
Need to have. Need to have probably special flight rules to get actual.
I guess was on the right.
Yeah, but you have to like have it, you have to have it up, you have to have your phone charged, and you need to get a fucking magnet.
Not for tomorrow, though, right?
Not for tomorrow, but you need to have one eventually.
I got
I don't exactly.
He was on black. I'm gonna.
Don't lie.
was like, that's here's what my niece.
That's enough.
That is like, leave it all there. That's it. That's the day you're right. These days. You're gonna leave it that much. You don't only that much. And it's kind of crazy too, because just fucked up because of it down. That was scratching.
Yeah, you're back.
From the.
You've been on a street this
Where you
Oh,
gonna-
look, there was two, I made. No,
Yeah,
And so that
my.
might flood.
Those whole for 11,000. But
6,000.
So in other words, the correction or refresher off to it is to subtract.
So. Says it.
right around Tuesday or betting on whatever.
Yeah, it's bad.
Bad.
I'd be at work.
With-
But way more than I'm gonna make on that shit, just tennis game.
Temperature with what?
Shit, pull it on the TV, you just need to watch them, random amount of stuff.
Okay.
Just
Yes, what if it's
do 5, 1, 3 days like.
But then I think I'm really, no. I really just do one.
So back to temperature.
You're on to better like that.
See what happens.
No, what I actually do is
Okay.
like,
So we have a 69% increase.
now like get on the virtual ones, the virtual ones too. Like what your ones, and like, I like wait till I use like. For the row, you know.
Yeah.
Where do you see?
Like I'll just do like one issue, like rainy, like some $5 issues that I go into some shit. I mean. Bring it on.
Wait, times 2. No, it's not, it's just long.
Yeah.
You know how to do all these steps.
Yeah.
It's just long, PSTVs. So now,
So when
Hey,
they.
next winter, but put money on me, but.
Too that though.
As long as I don't lose it.
how many feet have you have your on? You're in 10 seconds.
Yeah, because
We're not climbing 10,500 feet.
Or even.
Because we're not at sea level. We already have 6,700 feet. Like, nice. No, we're gonna do. That's what we're finding out how much we're actually liking. It's what we're planning to.
Minus.
Minus start feeling like it's so basically we're already starting at 6,700 feet. If we all have to climb up and.
I just. It's still. It's different.
15
It's still.
Takes 15 minutes.
So 15 minutes.
I'm 3,000 feet.
So realistically, if I could make like.
Flying 4,000. Just gonna take us 15 minutes. Great. So maybe I'd round that up to 16. I really just wanna be able to practice it. But like, alright, it's gonna take 15 minutes for us to climb. Then we have to figure out how far we're gonna go in that amount of time. And that has to do with. It's what we were doing just now.
Yeah.
So we do that EKG information.
Yeah.
To figure out what our ground speed is, and using that ground speed. To figure out how far we're gonna go.
It's okay, I'll figure it out.
I don't know.
Sunday?
Sunday.
Sunday. Why specifically Sunday?
When I actually like,
Do you have like?
I don't get it, or
Planes?
Yes.
Oh, I got like 30 K.
Never, so like. Like 4. Like you're too big. It's all there. It's just you know it's all. No.
I get it.
I get it, you just like, you one step and you're like. I know, it is annoying, but you can handle annoying things. I know Amara can handle annoying things. Sounds like you guys hang out all the time. 1:30.
We just do. So she loves that.
Three. Lunch, 12, right?
Yeah, love is different from
Like the
Keeps
two score. I'm gonna.
Yeah.
Let's watch a couple of videos. They're fun.
Yes.
Like,
Okay, so Chris number 2.
no. Does he text you when he doesn't show up? Does he text any, does he talk to anybody? No. And
You
he was
really try to talk to him? No problem.
Yeah, I asked the instructor. He goes, yeah, he has to, because I'm his instructor. He's like, I get it, he's weird.
But like, no, you just have to wait a little bit longer and he'll eventually answer. What's up, Andy? Buenos dias.
Yesterday, he was dying laughing right here. Did you see him?
No.
He was so annoyed. He was so red. He was like,
It's because like
he was literally
he
like,
said something.
and I've never seen him have expression like that. He was so funny. And that's why me and Laura were laughing so hard. We were laughing at him laughing. Nobody
Wait.
noticed him laughing.
Laura. Who'd you fly with? Yes, Sully, right?
Sully. Why?
Oh, we were just talking
Shit about me?
last night. No, not shit about you,
Sounds like
just
it.
facts about you.
Oh shit, what facts do we have that I don't know about?
Well, she was like, "Oh, how do you like teaching ground?" Like, "Oh, it's good, it's good." And she's like, "Do you have any annoying students?"
Me.
And I was like, "Oh, not well." And then I explained the situation and that how sometimes I'll be doing my best to be patient and you'll just be behind going,
And he, so